back. If you're just joining us, you're watching the news at 10 live on Channels Television. A reminder of our major stories. NNPC Group Managing Director continued monitoring of fuel supply situation in Abuja, shuts down petrol stations found wanting. Nigerians enjoy Christmas with visits to the less privileged and fun spots. We continue our 2017 review with a focus today on how the education sector fared in the outgoing year. And Liberians troop out to exercise their franchise in a presidential runoff. For more on our top stories and others, please visit our website. It's channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Log on to m.channelstv.com to watch us on your mobile device or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows devices from their respective stores. And there's something else you can do. The Channels TV and Channels 24 app will give you access to news and updates. You also have the Eyewitness feature with which you can share those pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Let's know how you're celebrating this festive season. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu and follow the instructions. And we have more pictures and videos that show how you're celebrating Christmas. With this video of children performing lovely melodies there at the Christmas fiesta, our Eyewitness reporter who sent this in from Ogba in Lagos State is impressed with the kids. And still from Lagos, from the Magodo area, comes this set of pictures showing men and women singing during a Christmas service. Our Eyewitness reporter who sent it in wants the spirit to continue even after the festivities. And next is this photo from Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, showing a family at a Christmas outing. Our Eyewitness reporter who sent this in wishes everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Our next image is from Mina, the Niger State capital, showing people whom our Eyewitness reporter says are at a Christmas carnival organized by the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN. And still on the celebration is this image from Bayelsa State showing men celebrating in a boat. Our Eyewitness reporter who sent it in says the men are happy to be alive to celebrate this year. We thank you for sending in those images and we do encourage you to keep them coming. Now let's get more perspective on how the education sector performed in 2017. I'm being joined by a professor of education from the University of Lagos, Professor Aloy Ejiogu. You're welcome to the News at 10.
Thank you for having me.
And compliments of the season, Prof.
I wish you the same.
Okay, now it's not news that all is not well with Nigeria's education sector, but how would you rate it in 2017?
I would think that generally speaking, we thought we were going to have a rosy, hitch-free 2017 educational session until just towards the end of the academic year, the agitation by the staff unions now came up again due to the infidelity, lack of trust, and lack of seriousness on those that manage the Nigerian polity. If people had kept faith, if people had accepted what they agreed they would do, I would have said we had nearly 100% hitch-free, smooth operation within the educational system. Even the argument about JAM, post-UTME and the rest of them were all taken very good care of. But the major reason or the major problem we've had in that system, like I said, is lack of funding, mismanagement, lack of trust, lack of belief in the educational system, and lack of appreciation of the whole essence of the educational system.
You said it yourself, Prof. It's one strike too many when you talk about Nigeria's education sector. Right. But how can this be prevented? Because it disrupts the calendar.
Yeah, exactly. You know, when people say they would prefer to go to XYZ country for higher education, the only reason Nigerians go to such areas is because the calendar is almost uninterrupted. As to the quality of the content, the commitment of the staff, lecturers of the university, I think Nigeria is one of the best.
Well, when the rankings come out, they are not found anywhere close.
Yeah, but the ranking you said?
Yes.
No, that's a matter for another day.
Okay.
People don't even understand what they mean by ranking. Or ranking of what? Webometrics, presence on the web, and someone says, I'm first in the university. First in terms of what? What are the criteria? But like I said, let us just leave that one apart. My worry with the educational system is that everybody talks about the value of the educational system. Everybody in Nigeria, but nobody is willing to pay for it. And you never get any good product without spending for it. Take, for example, in 2017, the federal government allocated 7.4% of its total budget to education. This year, 2018, the federal government had come down to 7%. Does it show seriousness? Does it show recognition of the efforts of these institutions? And yet, the same governments, whether state or federal, keep on opening more schools, more universities, more polytechnics, and the funding stays at the same level.
So how can the issue of funding be addressed?
If you ask my opinion, Nigerians have got to appreciate the value of education. Parents, guardians, employers of labor, the private sector. Education is not free anywhere in the world. Somebody has to pay for it. Even in Finland, that we say our education is free, somebody is paying for it. In Nigeria, the federal government cannot adequately pay for the educational needs of this country. People are shy because of politics. They run away, free education. What is free education when the child still has to come with his or her books? Even the chairs, the desk, name them, free education where? Somebody has to pay. Parents have got to be involved. Not all parents, of course. In Britain, as good in many other countries of the world. You say free education. There are ways by which the government, the people, the private sector pay for the fees. But you don't just have the universities go, don't charge fees, don't charge anything, give a student a room space for 900 naira per annum, and you want them to work miracles. It doesn't work that way. My recommendation is that there should be education tax. Every adult in this country, depending on his or her level of income, should pay for education to augment what the federal government does. Remember, my problem is that even the educational system we have in Nigeria seems to be owned by nobody. The federal government is working at one end, state governments are doing their own thing.
What about the private universities? More of them have been licensed to operate.
That's right. The other time there were 6 of them that were licensed. And you go there, where are they? They are in, normally they start with what they call temporary campus. Temporary campus for the next 15, 16 years. Who are the lecturers teaching in those new universities? Where are they? Where have they been trained? Or you're still relying on retired professors, like I will soon retire. You get retired people to go there when they want to rest. You now give them a new job. You mean they are going to perform better than they were performing when they were in their original or initial places of employment? Setting up universities like setting up a business, there has to be feasibility study. You've got to work your arithmetic, so to say. How do you get a fund? How do you fund it? Who will come to do the work? The operatives. Where are we getting them? What qualities? All we hear overnight is 15 universities have been licensed. And now the proprietor goes around and finds one loud-speaking human being and said, you are the vice chancellor. He's a vice chancellor, of course. He may never have taught in a university.
Thank you so much for speaking with us, Professor of Education from the University of Lagos, Professor Aloy Ejiogu. And now let's cross over to our Abuja studios where Ibrahim Adra is standing by. Compliments of the season, Ibrahim.
Compliments of the season to you, Melinda. Good to see you and hello everyone. To politics now. The ruling All Progressive Congress in Katsina State has continued to receive more defectors from the opposition parties. At a reception organized to welcome a former Speaker of the State House of Assembly and other people into the ruling APC, the State Governor Bello Masari says the party's commitment to change is becoming real to all.
This is Gwajugwaju village of Adua local government area of Katsina State. The large crowd of supporters is gathered to witness Governor Aminu Masari receiving hundreds of defectors from various political parties of Adua local government area in the Laura zone. Among them is the former Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Mr. Yao Umar Gwajugwaju. Mr. Gwajugwaju was also a chairman of Adua local government for 8 years on the platform of the People's Democratic Party in the state. Governor Masari is not surprised. He believes people have noticed positive changes in the state.
What we are preaching is change. And this change is not about changing of names or faces, but changing the way we run the affairs of people, governance. And we believe those who we met in PDP are convinced of our sincerity and the efforts we are making to really reshape our state and the country in general.
The DCAMPs couldn't agree more.
I am after what you can deliver to the good people of Katsina State and Nigeria at large. This is the home base of the president, and the former speaker did very well. And he is now invited to come and give his own helping hand to making Katsina a great place.
We are invited to show our solidarity to our former speaker, which is Umar Gwajugwaju, and by the grace of God, he is going to help the movement. He is going to help the party, because he feels our governor, which is Bello Masari, is an answering governor.
As the ruling party in the state swells its ranks, the hopes of the thousands gathered here is a much better life through good governance.
When the news at 10 returns, oil prices hit 2.5-year high as the explosion rocks pipeline linking Libya's biggest oil terminal. That's on Business News. Join us again.